Hey everyone, it's Jessica here. Happy Friday. It is my most favorite day of the week. I love when I get to take this time out of my day to spend a few minutes talking with you and catching up with you and sharing and celebrating your progress. And I have exciting news to share today too. So stay tuned for that. That'll be probably the third thing or so I'll talk about today. We're going to celebrate our Conquer Cable Knitting Challenge friends who have been working hard on their cable projects. And we're going to talk about our Seekless Memories knit along that's going on now with Henlia Handmade. And then the big exciting news. So let me just take a second and pin this video to the top of our Facebook group and hopefully make that easier for you all to find. But if you see me, Facebook is not always fun about sharing the live videos. So if you see me, say hi. Let me know that you are watching. And I don't even find myself. So let's see. Let's make sure. Yeah, I should be in the right places. It looks like someone found me. Kathy. Kathy is joining us all the way from Anchorage, Alaska. And Joanna is joining us from Connecticut. So some of you are seeing me, even if I don't see myself. There it goes. Pinned to featured. So hopefully that will make it easier for you all to find me. If you're watching, this will be recorded. So if you're watching on the replay, feel free to say hi there too. And I will keep coming back and checking for any questions or comments or anything that you want to share. You do have the option also, if you want, you can go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and that should be linked in the description of the video. If you'd like me to be able to see your picture, your profile picture, and your name, that's the only information that it shares, no other details. And Stacy says hi from New York, and Jerry is joining us from Highland Lakes, New Jersey. And as I said, Kathy all the way from Alaska. And hi, y'all, knitting in Virginia on the ear warmer. Is that you, Katha? So I have some fun things to share, and I want to celebrate you with you all. You have been working so hard, and I am so proud of all of you. So I'm going to share my screen and share some slides. So I'm still here. I'm just off in the corner, but keep saying hi and let me know if you have questions about anything as we continue. But otherwise, let's jump right into some fun sharing. So we started the beginning of this month. We kicked off this month with a Conquer Cable Knitting Challenge. It was a 5-day challenge, 5 days of videos. You can take as long as you want to actually go through the challenge. You'll have access to those videos. You don't have to worry about that. If you started, you'll have continued access. And we talked about all kinds of different things about how to knit cables in general, how to remember which direction to hold your stitches to go left or to go right. We learned about knitting reversible cables, which was a ton of fun. And I have 2 more bonus videos coming for our Conquer Cable Knitting Challenge students. We are going to talk about how to add cables into kind of make them your own in your own project. Like if you just want to knit a hat and you just want to add a couple cables, I'm going to teach you what adjustments you need to make to your stitch count in order to do that. And we are also going to have a video for knitting cables without a cable needle. So those are the 2 bonuses. Personal life has gotten a little bit hectic here this past week, so I wasn't able to get it up, but that will be up for you this coming week. So I'm really excited about those videos because as we get more advanced in our skills, if it's maybe not the first time we're knitting cables, it is great to be able to knit them without a cable needle so that even if, you left your cable knit at home, you can't find it, you can still continue to knit the project. And then as we get more advanced in our knitting, sometimes also we just want to, make a hat and we kind of have a vision, but that the cables kind of pull your work in. So I'll talk about how to do that. Oh, and Kathy shared that Kathy is working on the Alexander cable hat. When I unpacked my new jacket, it doesn't have a hood. I need a hat here. Oh my goodness. How long are you going to be in Alaska? Are you just visiting for a bit? Is it a work trip? I'd love to know. Or message me later because I have your package I want to send you. And I've been holding off because I saw the day I was going to put it in the mail back to you. I saw that you were headed out of town. So let me know when you think you'll be returning home so that I can time the delivery for you. So message me later or email me. Let me know, Kathy. So that is a little bit about our Conquer Cable Knitting Challenge. Say that 3 times fast. And I wanted to share some of your progress too. So Betty Sue shared, that's a little GIF, a little emoji rather of a snail. So slow, but finally completed the LYS shawl. That was from local yarn store day. That was my special project for yarn store day this past spring. And she modified my East End earwarmer pattern to make it into more of a headband. And so she is celebrating these very special, these wonderful milestones reached in this season of her life. And they are so beautiful and I love the colors. And I am so, so proud of you. And you persevered. And I know you faced, some physical challenges with the knitting. And I am so happy to see this update from you. And oh, Kathy, let me know when she'll be back home. So I will time it so you'll have something to open when you get back home, Kathy. And we have working on Sea Glass Shawl started on Wednesday and up to 4-row repeat. Love how the pattern flows. That makes me so happy to hear. It's a little bit until you get to that repeat, but then once you get into it, it becomes much, much easier to follow and to remember and all of those things. And Doris says hi from Illinois. Thank you for joining us here today. And Sylvia shared she finished her East End earwarmer and just needs some blocking and to sew it up. And I love how beautiful those cables are. And oh, the other thing in the cable workshop that I taught you all was how to drop down and fix a cable mistake. So if you zigged instead of zagged, which is what I like to say, but really if you went in the wrong direction, and crossed your cable, say maybe to the left or on the right. If it went crossed in the wrong direction, then you can pretty easily, drop down to fix it. I'd love to know if any of our Conquer Cable Knitting students actually gave that a try and how it went for you. And Donna shared, I'm way behind on the Conquer Cable course. At first, I started using a sock short circular needle, and it was so much easier when I switched to wood double-pointed needles. After watching the day 1 videos, I think I got it, and I agree, Donna, it looks beautiful. And Jana shared, I'm so glad you mentioned it in the video. I had no idea the difference the needle makes. So what she's talking about, one of the things that I talked about in the class is if you are working on, say, a new knitting technique, if you are working with slippery needles, slick needles, like say metal needles, sometimes they might just kind of slide out of your work, or we might have a super, super tight grip, white knuckling it the whole time on the metal needles because we're afraid that our stitches are going to fall off. And so my recommendation was if you were struggling to with any technique, not just cables, but if you were struggling to try using wood needles, so a bamboo or driftwood, like he makes driftwood needles. So a wood needle kind of grips your stitches a little bit more. I don't know if I have anything handy right here on wood needles. I don't. Projects all around, but none of them right here are on wood needles. But a simple, if it's not a lot of stitches, a short double pointed needle, or the longer ones are good too. This is like a 5-inch. They make 7-inch too. It doesn't have to be double pointed. It can be just a regular, a regular straight single pointed needle. But the material can make a difference, and it can actually make a difference also in your knitting gauge. So whenever you are working on a new technique, I highly recommend trying the wood needles. And also whenever you are swatching for a project, I'll share that too. When you're swatching for a project, you should use the same needles that you're going to use in the project, because the material of the needle really can affect your gauge. Not in a great big way, but in enough of a way, especially if you are working on a garment, something that really does need to fit a certain, body shape. You want to use the same needle so that your gauge swatches are accurate. I know everyone hates the gauge swatches. And we have a friend also who says, cannot praise the likey driftwoods enough. And I do that drop the stitches repair all the time. I figured if I mess up, I have to frog anyway, but I've been lucky so far with the repairs. That's wonderful. I'm so glad to have shared that with you all. And Knitter's Pride has their day and night wood needles with swivel cords, my new favorites. I'm gonna have to check those out. I think that those are the ones that one side of the needle is like a dark material and the other side is a light material. And the benefit to that, if I'm right, someone let me know. The benefit to that is if you're working with light yarn, then you can turn the needle so that you are looking at the dark side of the needle to give contrast to your the stitches against the needle. It makes it easier to see, and vice versa. If you're working with dark yarn, you can look at the light side, and light side look at the dark. Yes. Okay, good. I try to know all my knitting things, but sometimes, I'm not in the know. Oh, Shelly shared that she finished, I would say in absolute record time, Shelly. She finished her reversibility cowl that she is sending off to a friend. And so she said, I will need to make one for myself. So she picked this beautiful shade of, I think that it is Malabrigo, a beautiful light blue color. And the pattern includes 3 different lengths. So for her friend, she made the longest length so that you can kind of wrap it around. And for hers, she made the shortest length, which is more of a traditional, around the neck cowl size. And she said it was an easy 2-day project from start to finish, which is incredible speed, Shelly. So kudos to you on that for sure. And Stacy shared a photo. She said this got put aside to work on the sea glass shawl. Jessica made it so easy to do reversible cables. So that's the beautiful thing about this project, is that the other side of your work looks the same. So you don't have to worry about, if you put the cowl on and the inside of it shows, there is, there's an inside and an outside, but they both look beautiful on both sides. And so you don't have to worry about which way your cowl, and you can even incorporate that learning into, say, knitting a blanket or other things, a scarf, where you don't have to worry about what the other side looks like. So, and I love that shade of pink, Stacy. So, quick sip of water. The Sea Glass Memories knit along is the other thing I wanted to celebrate with you all. Thank you, friends. Okay, so the next knit night is Wednesday. The final knit night is Wednesday, September 27th, and it is at 8 o'clock Eastern. It is not too late to join us. Come hang out with Mindy, who is the indie dyer, natural indie dyer behind Henley Handmade. She dyed this beautiful yarn for the shawl in beautiful, gorgeous shades of sea glass. And so we both live on the coast, but on opposite coasts. And so we thought this was the perfect collaboration between us. So she is in Oregon and I'm in New York. And so we have been doing this together. She's a long time friend of mine. We started our yarnie businesses kind of together around the same time. So it was fun to celebrate this with her anniversary, her 4th anniversary with you all. And we've been having so much fun on the knit nights on Zoom. And so you're invited, if you'd like to knit the pattern, you can sign up at doublethestitches.com/seaglasskal. And you'll then get the link to join us on Wednesday, and I'll send out a reminder, of course, on Wednesday with the link too, because if your inbox looks anything like mine, you may not ever find that email again. And Sally had shared that she had received her yarn for the Sea Glass Memories shawl knit along, and she's so excited. And Mindy packs the best little treats and surprises in her packages. So if you haven't ever ordered from Mindy yarn, then I highly recommend it. And Stacy shared, I'm enjoying working on this Sea Glass Memories shawl, and that's such a pretty color, Stacy. And Debbie shared she's got her Stitch Society tote bag, and she is all ready for the Sea Glass Memories knit along, and she's got her yarn wound. And the beautiful thing about the pattern is that you can make it as small or as large as you want. So the sample was knit with just one skein of yarn, just a little over 400 yards in that skein. If you have a 400-yard skein, if you have a little bit less, if you want to go really big and dramatic and just keep knitting, you can make it a 2-skein project. So I love making things for you that are adjustable like this. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do when I am designing patterns for you all. And then she shared her progress and said how much she is loving the yarn and the Sea Glass Memories knit along. And the yarn we were talking about during the knit along is it's 100%, I believe. I'm not totally sure on the percentage, but I believe it's 100%, but it is US Cormo wool, which is a little bit different than some of us are more used to, say, knitting with merino. So it has a different feel. It has more texture. It's nice and bouncy and kind of fun, kind of stretchy, fun to knit with, and it has beautiful shades. Joanna, thank you so much. Said yes, it is 100%. Couldn't remember offhand if there was a blend there. So it's 100% US wool, and she dyes her yarn naturally, which I love too. The colors she comes up with are incredible. And Sabine shared, today I collected my package from the Austrian mailing service just in time for the Sea Glass shawl. And thank you, Jessica, for shipping the bag all around the world. So Sabine lives in Austria, and she's a member of the Stitch Society. And this was a recent gift that I gave our members that had been a member up until I think it was June when I placed the order for the tote bag. So a little birthday gift from me to them. And Nancy shared, I'm enjoying this, using some fine acrylic blend yarn that has been in my stash for a while. The pattern was easy to memorize, and it gives my hands a break after working on my other current project, which has chunky yarn and number 13 needles. And I highly, highly recommend that. Switching up your projects and the needle sizes can really help a lot with your hands. Yes, Sonia says 100% Cormo. And Kathy says Kathy loves Mindy's yarn. And we have a friend who says my Stitch Society bag will work great with the Sea Glass shawl. And I loved how these bags came out. They were they were even better than I thought they were going to be. Oh, and Sonia says 100% Cormo. And Kathy shared that she had just started last night, and look how far she got. I love how this project grows from just a few stitches to something that can be as big a size as you want. So I love that she's already started working on the lace, and it looks beautiful, Kathy. And Shar shared it's coming along. She was there to join us for the knit night too, and she picked a beautiful variegated yarn, and I love how the pattern looks in that too, and I love how it takes the lace, and then you have that stockinette that really showcases the different colors if you're using something variegated. Beautiful knitting, everyone. Karen shared making progress on my shawl. Love the yarn. And Jackie shared her progress. And also love the yarn. I love all the colors. It's one of my favorite things to look through the different projects, the pictures that you share with me, and see what yarn you picked and how it looks. And so beautiful, beautiful knitting, everyone. And Deborah shared, here is mine, just getting started. And I love the shades that Mindy used. They're all different sea glass shades. I love this light one too. And so I have a question for you all, and then I will share what I wanted to introduce you all to. So I have a couple of patterns that I am just about ready to release, and what I would love to know from you all is which one are you most excited about, and that will be the next one that I release. So we have this hat pattern. It is knit with DK weight yarn. It is called the sequence hat, and it starts out with an uncommon sequence of knitting for the ribbing, and then we adjust the stitch count, and it sends the stitches off into a beautiful, beautiful spiral. And that's a DK weight hat. And I also have this cowl that I designed especially for Eagle Bend Alpaca Farm. They had a few yarn crawls this summer, and so they reached out and they shared their yarn with me to design with. And so we've got some adorable geometric sheep. That one is done with mosaic knitting. So you are only ever knitting with one color of yarn, one strand of yarn at a time. So it is knit in the round. It's a tube. So it's knit on a small circumference of a circular needle with fingering weight yarn. I think it was a US 4 or 5 that I used for that, and a small, I think a 5, and a small circumference for the cowl. And it's easy to adjust. If you wanted to make it even a little bit wider, you can add additional repeats of the sheep, and you have all the information for that. So it's the hat, the cowl. Jerry loves the sheep cowl, and Kathy loves the sheep cowl. And so those are the two that I would like to know, which you can share in the comments. Let me know which one you'd like me to release next. And Sonia says the sheep cowl. And I think Eagle Bend Alpaca Farm may have additional yarn now. They ran out of it. They sold out of kits during the yarn crawls this summer. And Joanna says the hat, and Stacy says the sheep cowl. I don't know, maybe we'll have to have a double release. And Kathy says the sheep cowl. So we'll see how it goes, but keep letting me know in the comments. And Katha says Katha loves mosaic knitting but wants to try the spiral hat too. And Sonia is laughing at me. And Jerry wanted to get the kit for the sheep cowl, but had too many things on the needles, so put on hold. All right, we'll see. So I will surprise you next week, or you can keep checking the comments and see which pattern is winning. Sonia's laughing with me. Thank you, Sonia. Decisions are difficult. Yes, and that's why I love to ask you for your feedback so that I can try to, cater what I do to you all. I know that, you guys have been busy with the cables, and then we have this other knit along, and there's another one coming in October. I like to keep you all busy. So please don't ever feel overwhelmed. The patterns and the projects will always be there for you when you are ready for them. So the next thing, we have love these patterns. I have a sequence book, so the hat is perfect to learn, and would love to do another mosaic. And Doris says the hat, I'm giving knitted hats to a cancer center. You guys are making this hard on me. But I am so thrilled to know that you love both patterns. So that really, really makes me happy. So the next thing I wanted to talk about with you all is a quick sip of water. And I have something exciting that I have been working on behind the scenes for you all. I have been, let me just find one quick thing. And where do we go? So that I can tell you all the details about all the things. I am introducing a new program that you are all invited to join, and I want to tell you all about it. And it is called the Double the Stitches Pattern Club. So the first thing I want to mention before I get into all the details is that if you're a Stitch Society member and you're watching, you are already getting all the benefits. So you don't have to worry about that. And because I know we have a few friends watching us who are members. Oh, and we have a friend says, I love how you write your patterns. That really is kind of the best compliment, and that means really so much. I strive so hard and work so hard to really put out patterns that keep you coming back for more patterns. And I want you to enjoy your time knitting and not worry about stressful patterns that are written in confusing ways that don't really make sense. And I always try to support you along the way through the patterns, through tutorials, whether it's a link to a tutorial that exists or filming and recording my own. And Jerry says, Jerry loves your charts. Um, so yeah, that is important for me too. And the charts I want to mention, and I was talking with Carrie from the Spinning Hen about this today. About, there's those patterns that sometimes tell you to cast on 100 stitches, follow chart A, and then, chart B. And those are great if you can read charts. But what I have promised my knitters, my audience, my favorite people, which is you, is that if my pattern includes a chart, it will only ever be as an extra added bonus, because I have worked I've worked in a yarn shop, and I teach I run a group at my local library, and I have run into not run into, I have had the pleasure of teaching so many knitters that are terrified of charts, afraid of charts, and will not use a pattern that is only charted. So it's always as an extra thing. So you'll always get the full written out instructions from me. And then I include a chart whenever it becomes useful or helpful, will help clarify the stitches, or if it is just as an extra added thing. Sometimes there are patterns, and I'm working on one right now that I just opened a testing call for, where having the full thing charted would cause more confusion. And that does, surprisingly, that does really happen, where a chart can make things more confusing. Um, Jerry hates the chart A and B. They get too confusing for me, so I shy away from them. Um, and Sonia says, I totally agree. And she says, I'm a fan of the stitch count table. That's something that I've recently added to patterns that have a lot of a repeat and a changing stitch count, is a way to really keep track of where you are in the pattern, how many rows you've worked, how many more you have to go. And if you put your work down, and especially if you have young children or other things that sometimes are distracting, maybe it's not a young child, maybe you are, caring for someone else in your life, or even something as simple as you're knitting along and someone, calls you on the phone or the doorbell or all of those things. So the stitch count tables help keep you on track, because you can count your stitches and see where you're at. So who else? Chantel says, I would like to make the hat. And what else? And Sonia also shared, and yes, I'm fairly new to the charts, and I find myself always double checking in the written bit. And Joanna says, I prefer written instructions, but I like having the chart as a supplement. Yes, that's an excellent word for it, Joanna, supplement. So it's a supplementary thing to the pattern. You'll always get that written instruction from me. So I have been brainstorming this for a while, and I have come up with a kind of a win-win situation or offer for you all that I am calling the Pattern Club. And if you are a knitter like I am, then you have found yourself in that position of chasing something that is really unique to the yarn world, to knitting and crocheting patterns. Most industries don't do this, and it is that introductory discount for a knitting pattern or a crochet pattern. And I have found myself disappointed if I missed that small few days window of opportunity. Though, of course, I would still purchase the pattern to support the designer and create the project, because I fell in love with it for a reason, and it wasn't necessarily the price. But I would think that many of you have felt that way too, where you have been, you see something posted in a group, maybe you see it a week or 2 weeks later, and you missed that short introductory discount window. And so I was trying to find a way that there could be a win-win solution for that, so that you never have to feel that disappointment of missing out on a great deal on a pattern, to save a little bit of money. Knitting is not an inexpensive hobby. It is a luxury hobby. Um, and we have some more comments here. Doris says, I prefer written to charts. I use charts for pillows and Christmas stockings. And Sonia says, I need patterns for ornaments. And other friends, I never learned the charts. Patterns for ornaments with discounts. Putting the comments together and a smiley face. So I was trying to brainstorm, and I was talking to a few people about this, and so I came up with this option for a pattern club. And so today is the day that I am kind of kicking that off and introducing it to you all. And I have a paid Stitch Society membership, which is a wonderful community, and we have, many, many benefits, and it is kind of my favorite part of what I do. But it's not always in everyone's price range, not everyone's price point. And so there was also the thing that I was thinking about, running this design business, is that there are so many different fees that I pay out as a designer. So I pay to PayPal, and then I pay to Ravelry, and I pay to wherever things are being hosted. And so I thought, what if there was a great way that you could support me as a designer? You could never have to worry about missing out on an introductory discount. Um, and so we could all win together. And so that kind of hatched this idea for the Pattern Club. And I want to tell you a little bit about that today. So I am launching it today to founding members. So this is the lowest price that it will ever be. And I have been, wondering if you've been ready to knit more things, if you'll always wanting to always have something that is new and exciting to knit. Are you ready to finish more projects and knit with yarnie friends working on the same design together in this group? And do you want to know that you'll always save on my patterns? So I kind of packed this filled with different features. This is really simple. I wanted to make it easy. I wanted to make it simple, and um, I wanted to make it special. I wanted to make it uncomplicated. So when you sign up for the Pattern Club, you'll get one knitting pattern a month. Most months that will be a brand new release. There may be times when I don't have a pattern that is being released that month. And if I don't have one, then you will get a code that you can use to grab any of the patterns in my existing collection. There's over 45 patterns published, with I think I've got about 7 more in the queue ready, testing and all of those things. You'll also get 2 bonus patterns a year. You'll get a code that you can use on Ravelry for additional savings on all of my patterns. And you'll also get first access to sign up for the exciting knit-alongs, workshops, challenges, and events that I host. And if I can swing a little discount for you on those things, I will certainly share that with you. So it's a great way to save on my patterns, to know that you'll always get whatever new release that I am offering, and to never be kind of without that yarny inspiration or that motivation. And I wanted to these are a few of my recent designs. And I had recently discovered, I'm going to grab the projects to show you for a second, but I had recently discovered that the county fair was actually only 15 minutes from my house. And I submitted 3 projects, and I earned 2 blue ribbons for first place. 2 of those 3 got blue ribbons, and the third one that I entered got a white ribbon for third place. And living in the suburbs of New York City, the fair was actually for 3 different counties. It was, if you're familiar with the area, it was for Queens County, which is part of the 5 boroughs of New York City. And then it was for Nassau and Suffolk County, which are the 2 counties that make up Long Island, where I live. And I was just curious, so I kind of went on a little Google deep dive. And so when you add the 3 counties together, it's a total population of over 5 million people. They are all not knitters, and they certainly all did not enter into the fair. And a fellow knitter, Chris, submitted this year, I think she submitted 6 projects to her county fair in Kentucky. She's one of my my test knitters and a Stitch Society member. And so of her 6 projects, she earned 5 blue ribbons, and 4 of those 5 were for patterns that I designed. As I mentioned, I have more patterns coming up, but I want to show you my ribbons. um, More comments before I grab that. Sony says relatable makes it a lot more expensive, but fun to work with and wear. Joanna says nice. And Kathy is super proud of you for entering the fair. And Jerry says, as a professional, those ribbons are a coup because a professional status is tough to compete. So I'm going to grab my patterns and show you the ones that won ribbons, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the pattern club. Yay ribbons. I'm going to make me big for a second so I can show you. So this was a wall hanging. There is my ribbon on the screen. There we go. So this it hangs like this. I'm tilted. There we go. So it hangs like this. It has tassels and it has a scalloped edge on the bottom. So that was one of my blue ribbon winners. And let's have that not fall. And then this, yes, Jerry says a carries kit. Yes, that one was a carries kit. And this one is also a carries kit. So that is also the blue ribbon. So this is cables with a little bit of lace. You can see that. It was initially designed with the vision of it being a table runner. And then I needed a scarf for an outfit I was going out. And so it can be a table runner or it can be a scarf. So it's got cables and lace, and this is with Juniper Moon Farm Zoe. So it's a nice lightweight accessory. It's DK weight yarn, and it is, but it can be knit with really any yarn. So if you want, kind of a warm wool scarf or whatever, what have you, you can do that. And then the third one was my Color Crush shawl. And that looks like this. It's been in a bag. So it's got the tassels, and that is the one that got the 3rd place ribbon. So that's my third ribbon. So that's my Color Crush shawl, which we did back in January as a knit along. So so I was really, really excited about all of that, and I wanted to take a minute to share that with you. So the thing that I also want to say about the patterns is that they are all professionally designed by me. They're all reviewed. I have a technical editor. I guess you could call her on retainer. And she professionally reviews all of, oh yes, Sonia says, but the test knitter got a blue ribbon with that Color Crush pattern. That is true. Yes, Chris got a blue ribbon for hers. And I was so excited, and that was one of the things that pushed me into wanting to participate in the fair. So Sonia says, so they are all blue ribbon winning patterns. Yes. So so those 3 are all ribbon winners. So the patterns you're getting, the patterns that you're familiar with from me, the pattern style and all of that is not changing. So they're all designed by me. They're all reviewed by a tech editor. They're all tested by fellow knitters. They'll be delivered to you, one a month, delivered to you by email. So if you don't use Ravelry, that's okay. You'll get a link to download it from my Google Drive. So you can save it to your computer. And that will be a safe place. And then also, if you use Ravelry, you can share your Ravelry username with me, and I'll send that pattern to you as a gift each month so that it will show up in your search results when you're looking for a specific type of pattern. And you can easily re-download copies of it anytime on the go, wherever you are. So you'll have that ongoing access to your digital PDF patterns. Oh, Jerry shared. I don't think you told me this, Jerry. Jerry said, I got a blue ribbon for the local yarn store day shawl. So was that this year's one? And which color? Because I know you knit, I think, 3. So I would love to know. And So it's a good year for my patterns at the county fairs. Um, so as I said, so pattern access, when you sign up today, you'll get an instant download code so that you can pick a pattern, any one of the patterns from my collection, and you can redeem your first bonus pattern the day that you sign up. You'll get an email right away from me. And then you'll get a monthly pattern, as I said, shared in an email and added to your Ravelry library. And then in our big group, we can kind of have, share what you're working on, threads and support and all of that. And then the awesome thing I wanted to offer you all is if you are one of the first 50 founding members of the Pattern Club, then you will get my Oops, Fix Your Mistakes workshop for free. So you'll learn how to fix lace and cables and accidental yarn overs and missing yarn overs and decreases that went the wrong way where you can swap them. So if you made a knit two together out of habit, but it really should have been a slip slip knit, I show you how to fix that, to undo that mistake, that stitch that went in the wrong direction, and fix that. So you'll learn how to fix your own knitting mistakes. And for me personally, that was the absolute biggest change that really took my own knitting to the next level, was not having to think or to undo my work, to spend hours and have all of that frustration. So it saves you time, it saves your sanity, because I know that we've all been there in tears or nearly in tears when a project is not going how we need it to. And so, as I said, you'll take your knitting to that next level. You'll feel empowered to dive in to more complicated projects when you learn how to fix your own oopsies. So that is called the Oops Workshop. So the first 50 founding members, you'll get that for free. That workshop is also available to purchase. It's a $50 workshop. So that is added, given to you for free as a member of the Pattern Club. So, the Pattern Club membership is a total value of over $162 per year. The reason I say that is because some of my pattern prices in the future will be going up. I'm in the midst of designing my first sweater, and so that's going to be a little bit higher tier of a price than, say, a shawl or a hat. But your price will always be the same every single month. That will be your price for as long as you are a member in good standing. If you cancel and you want to return, if the price of the membership, the Pattern Club membership, has gone up, then you're always welcome to rejoin, but it would be at whatever the current price is. So whichever option that you picked, you will get a free pattern, your first bonus pattern, when you sign up. And then at the 1 year mark, you'll get another code for another free pattern. And I didn't make a slide for this, but I also last minute was thinking, what else could I include for you all? So Pattern Club members are going to have a code that they can use anytime to get a discount on any of my previously published patterns, anything in my collection, as long as it's self-published. So if I am doing a collaboration or featured in a magazine, I may not have that control. So that pattern might be not included, but anything that is self-published. And right now there's over 45 self-published patterns to pick from. So it's just $7 a month, or $77 per year. So you save a little bit if you sign up for the year. And the link to sign up, and I'll put this clickable in the description too. I wonder if I can comment here. I think I can from here. Yes, I can. Pattern. Okay, so it's in the comments. I'll put it in the description later. And if you have any questions about the Pattern Club, feel free, you can ask them in the comments, and I will, I'm here for a little longer to hang out with you all. So if you have questions, let me know what they are. And if you come back, if you're watching the replay, ask it. I'm happy to respond. Or you can also always feel free to message me if you have a question about any of my programs, or email me. And I'm going to send this stuff out to you all in email messages too. and I'm really excited about this way. It gives you an automatic discount. You'll always get whatever my newest design is, my newest pattern. You'll get discounts on any other patterns that I have published. You'll be the first to sign up for any workshops that I host, or events that I run, or knit alongs. You'll always be the first to know whatever it is that I'm doing. And we'll have, threads in posts in our large double the stitches pattern group for each pattern, so that you have an easy place to go and ask a question, and you can knit along with your pattern club friends and all of the other members of the double the stitches community. And this is, I say it every time I go live, this is really my most favorite place on all of the internet, all the Facebook groups, all the, you know, websites and communities. Ours is by far my most favorite. I'm so grateful to you all for participating and supporting me and knitting my patterns and just being really wonderful humans. I love that I get to be more of your yarny friend, and I have, I think only once in all of the years that I've had the group did I ever have to just kind of reach out to rectify a situation. But you guys are all just wonderful people. I always say that knitters and crocheters are really just the best people in the world. And I feel so honored that I get this opportunity to get to know you all and spend time with you all. And so I wanted to create this way where you don't have to worry about chasing discounts. I wanted to, there's a whole list on the sign up page of like different questions that I thought you might have, that things that you might be wondering about. But two really important things I wanted to mention. One is that the large double the stitches community group that has how many members do we have today? Let's see. I'm going to find that answer. Growth. So we have over 2,300 members. That group is staying free. This is not something where I am doing like a bait and switch where you now all of a sudden have to be paid to pay to be part of the group. So this is just a separate extra added way. If you love knitting my patterns and you want to continue knitting my patterns and you want to continue supporting me and you want to always know that you don't have to worry about checking for discounts, you'll always get my patterns at a discount. So that is thing one I wanted to make sure that I chatted with you all about. I'm not removing my patterns from Ravelry in any way, so you will always be able to find them, unless, well, maybe I can't say always, but for as long as Ravelry operates the way that it has been, you'll always be able to find my patterns on Ravelry. And I'm not closing this group or anything else like that. This is just an extra way where you can always know that you'll get a discount. And the thing that will be changing is that I will most likely not be offering that introductory discount on my patterns anymore. So the way to get the discount is to join the club. So with future releases, they'll be just regular price. And if you want a discount, then you can sign up for the club. And then you'll get a discount on that pattern that day right away, because you get a code you can use to get that bonus pattern. And then you'll get all my future, a pattern a month from me going forward in the future. So Jerry shared, and if you have questions, definitely let me know. So about her yarn shop day, her LYS Love Shawl, I got a blue ribbon. It was the one that she knit in blue. And Jerry says, I look forward to the sweater pattern. I know it will be a fun knit. It is. I'm so excited. I am almost done knitting it. And I have been taking a class, actually as a designer, taking a class on knitting sweater patterns and grading them so that I can release a pattern that is as size inclusive as I can make it. Because one of the things, we love, I love designing, but when it comes to designing something for, different body shapes and sizes, I want to make sure I am putting something out that is accessible to as many people as I can make it. So I have been doing lots of learning behind the scenes about that. And yeah. Oh, and Sonia, someone says, so wonderful. Thank you. And Sonia says, also looking forward to that, the sweater. I've never taken on a sweater pattern before. And Jerry says, I need a good men's cardigan sweater pattern. I'll work on it. I'm gonna get through this. It is the one that I am knitting now is and designing now is it's a worsted weight sweater. I can tell you guys that. It is knit in the round. It's knit from the top down, and it has some lace detail on the yoke, and the rest of the body is kind of simple. So we're working on that. I have several yarn quantities for sweaters. Awesome. My pleasure. I'm excited about this. Love the sounds of it. So yeah, I'll put that link again in the description. I'll send out an email about it, but I hope that you join me on this pattern club journey. I think it's going to be a wonderful thing for us as a community, and for you to not have to stress and wonder about, did you miss the discount and all of those things. Um, and we've got, my next year's fair entry. We'll see. I need a lesson on ease. I will do what I can. Thanks for a fun break in the middle of the day. And Chantel says, are you going to have a workshop for the sweater? I don't know if it will be a full workshop. If it's not a full workshop, then there will be tutorials. I'm not sure. And Sonia says, get it in first, Jessica. So yes, I'll put that link for you all one more time for the Pattern Club, and I would love, love, love to have you join me for this. If you have questions at all about it, please reach out. Let me know what you're wondering, and I will share that all with you. And I will probably do another live soon where I may answer if I get, a large number of questions. I'll add them to the sign up page, and I will also approve. Okay, so someone was waiting to join. Yeah, so well, fortunately, Jerry and I wouldn't be submitting to the same county fair because we're in different states, so I don't have to worry about competition with Jerry. Yes, so reach out if you have any questions for me, and I will see you in the group. For those of you who may celebrate Yom Kippur, as I do, Sunday into Monday, I wish you an easy fast and a happy and healthy new year, from my family to yours. So have a wonderful rest of your Friday and your weekend, and reach out if there's anything that I can do to help you. Happy knitting, friends.